So now we'll pick up where we left off. Sorry about that, guys. So we're going to start with just looking at this, and we're going to simply, well, it helps if I put it on sketch screen. We're going to multiply 1/2 times 4. Remember, you have been doing this all week. So in your math journal where you're doing your work, you're going to say 4 times 1/2. Just a quick lesson, anytime you multiply a whole number by 1/2, that's the same thing as dividing it by 2. So therefore, before I even start, I know that 4 times 1/2 is 2. But I'm going to go ahead and make this into a fraction by adding a 1, if you remember. And I'm going to look for cross canceling. Can I cross cancel anything? Well, if I divide 1 by 1, I'm going to get 1. So there's not much I can do there. Let's look at 2 and 4. Can I divide both 2 and 4 by the same number and get something smaller and easier to work with? You said yes, you are correct. So therefore, we're going to take and we're going to divide both of these numbers by 2. Whoops. When I divide 2 by 2, I get 1. When I divide 4 by 2, I get 2. So now when I multiply straight across, I get 2 times 1 is 2. So my numerator is going to be 2. And then 1 times 1 is 1. So therefore, I have 2 out of 1, or I know that that 1 doesn't really matter, so I can say that's a whole number of 2. If you look at your second one, I have, and I'm going to clear the screen for us to make it a little easier. I have 2/5 times 3. So therefore, I'm going to say 2/5 times 3. All I'm doing is multiplying fractions by finding area. Remember, with area, you just simply multiply. But let me ask you this before we go a little bit further. What if I were to divide the shape up into 2 separate parts and get 2 different areas? What would I do at the end? If you said add, you are correct. Okay? Can I cross cancel anything? No, I can't divide 5 and 3 by anything to get anything smaller, nor can I divide 2 and 1. So therefore, I'm going to say 2/5 times 3 out of 1. And I'm going to go straight across the top. 2 times 3 is 6, so I'm going to write it over here. Then 5 times 1 is 5. Do we leave it like that, guys? No, it's an improper fraction, so let's reduce it. How many times will 5 go into 6? 1 time. Mrs. Wallace is having a hard time with the computer, so I'm going to write it right here. 1, and then my denominator stays 5. So 5 times 1 is 5. What do I add to get 6? 1. So therefore, you would drag 1 1/5. Okay, let's take a little sneak peek through the rest of the slides. Today is Friday, so hopefully you will get this finished so you don't have homework. Maybe the sub in the room will allow you to work on it if you finish something earlier. You're doing the same thing here, guys. It's just getting you to write it down and look at it. Make sure you show all of your work in your math journal. Remember, this is easier when you show your work. Good luck.